Are you ready to plan your most memorable trip ever? Hi, I'm Jessica. I live in Amsterdam and have since 2014, and I have regularly traveled 100 days a year, and now I am sharing my travel secrets with you. And in honor of my 40th birthday this month, I am doing a list of 40 travel tips to help you have the most memorable experience. Let's dive right in. It's going to be kind of quick fire, so let me know if you have any questions, and I may make the answers into a short. Let's dive in. First up is take a tour on day one. Yes, get your bearings of where you are and also get the tips from your local guide plus history. This can be a food tour, this can be a walking tour, this can be any kind of tour that you want, as long as you get the vibe of the city and you start to feel a little more familiar with where you are. Secondly, get a different kind of view. Here in Amsterdam, I highly suggest people not just take a walking tour, but take a canal tour. Get up on one of the rooftops. We have plenty of rooftop bars, but see the place from different perspectives, because that will just create different kinds of memories for you. Book a local experience. This might be a market tour, wine tasting, cooking class. I personally use Get Your Guide, so I'll leave my affiliate link down below for you for that. But I've done some super cool things, including a perfume making workshop in Paris. So there's something for everybody. Find out when the neighborhood markets are. We have so many in this city, and I know they are everywhere. So find those and just walk around, smell everything, and maybe even get some free tastings, but enjoy what is everyday shopping for so many people. Use Meetup, couch surfing, or even Girls Gone International to find meetups in where you're going. I did this in Hong Kong and it was super cool. You can make friends in so many different ways, and this is just one of the easiest. Ask locals where they go for fun. Maybe you met somebody at a meetup, maybe it's a server or a bartender. Find somebody and ask where they enjoy going to get more of a local flavor. Take a day trip. If you are in any of the major European cities, there are so many amazing day trips to be had. Again, I use Get Your Guide, you use Viator, anything that you want. And sometimes there's even local businesses that do this as well. So do your research and find something really cool and get more out of your trip instead of just staying in the city. Check the local tourism website. See if there's a festival or a holiday celebration that is going on while you are there. We actually did this in Tallinn, Estonia. There was randomly a food festival that we took a local bus out to experience, and it was so cool. Again, these are just things that you may not have thought about before, but are totally worth your time. Take public transportation, even if it's just once, just to get a feel for that local life and also just to get a whole new experience. Find live music anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's super local live music or any kind of live music, but get that vibe of just what it is like to have live music in a different place. Different cultures kind of handle live music differently, so it's so interesting to see and experience. Let's talk about food, one of my favorite topics. Try something you can't pronounce. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get, and especially if you can't pronounce it, you definitely don't know what you're gonna get. And unless you have allergies, just go for it and see what happens. Sometimes it's worth just doing a chef's menu. Don't ask, just eat. Don't try to translate the menu. Just try it and see what you like. Or maybe just ask a server just to give you whatever the specialty is without actually asking what it is. A cooking class. Now, I'm specifically mentioning it here because I love taking cooking classes. It is one of my favorite things, and you get to kind of understand how people use the ingredients that they have around them, what ingredients they use, how they use them, why they do what they do. Are they in a hot climate, a cold climate? Are they smoking things? Are they baking things? Are they using the simplest ingredients, fewest ingredients, or are they over the top? All of those things give you such an insight into where you are. Skip the chain cafes, go to the hole in the wall. I think Rick Steves is the one who says if they have English on the menu, don't bother going there. I don't necessarily think I'd go that far, but definitely try to go off the tourist path and find something delicious, something that it really looks like only locals are at, and you might have to use your Translate app to figure things out. No matter where you are, order the house wine, beer, cider, grappa, whatever it is, get the house version. Typically, it is gonna be amazing, especially if you follow the last advice and don't go to the chains and you have something really homemade. I've been to restaurants where they have the best red wine, and it is the cheapest thing on the menu, and it goes perfectly with the food. You just trust how the locals know what they're doing. If it's a place that has bakeries, which are kind of all over the place now, even if it wasn't part of the culture initially, go early in the morning. I did this in Paris and I tried a different bakery each morning and I loved it because I got a different experience in each one, but also completely different pastries in each one, and they all specialize in different ones. So it's such a cool way to experience a place through a good, chill morning breakfast. Have a slow meal with no phones if you can. I mean, honestly, sometimes it's just best to savor what you're enjoying because you're not gonna have that moment again. And once it's done, it's done. You can go back to that restaurant, but it is not going to be the same experience the next time. So take the time, enjoy it, put the phone away, take your pictures, and put your phone away until later. Desserts. Try the regional desserts if you can. Go to any place, ask what they have, and really try to understand where you are with that dessert. So that it might be a cheese dessert. I don't mean a cheese tray, but some places cheese is such a part of the culture that it is actually in the desserts. Or it will be regional and seasonal fruits. It's a really rewarding way to enjoy your meal. If you're there in nice weather, maybe make a picnic. Go to the grocery store, or bonus points, go to the butcher and the cheesemonger and all of that and just get all the ingredients to make an amazing picnic. And in many places in Europe, you can drink alcohol in public, so just check the laws first. But if you wanted to take a bottle of wine or something with you, do that. Just don't get drunk in public because that's frowned upon and nobody likes that. And that's actually illegal in some places. If you go on a local food tour, you'll probably learn this one, but learn how to say cheers in the local language. Whether it's Prost or Chin Chin or any variety of the others, learn that and take it home with you and you can start doing it at home. This section I absolutely love because it's all about mindset and how you're gonna see your trip. So first of all, don't overplan. Leave time to be spontaneous. Definitely make reservations when you need to. If you're going to the Louvre, or if you're in Amsterdam going to the Rijksmuseum, or any place that has a line that's hard to get in unless you have a ticket ahead of time. Same with dinners. Book those, but leave time to just figure things out. You can make a list ahead of time of what you might want to do if you're nearby or if you're feeling it that day, but just be a little more flexible. Give yourself one day to have no agenda. You've got nothing on the plan, just to enjoy life and see where it takes you. See what you're vibing that day, see where you end up. Do something that you're a little scared of, like get out of your comfort zone just a little bit, because those are when the magical moments happen. And say yes to a spontaneous invitation. If you're gonna talk to a stranger and they're like, hey, we're gonna rent a boat, do you wanna go out? Say yes. This is where having that room for spontaneity is so important, because would you want to miss out on this important, local, fun, memorable experience because you got a ticket to a museum that you can go to tomorrow? So just keep it in mind to say yes when you can. Have a journal. This can be on your phone. This can be written. Written is best because then you actually have that as your memory as well. But write a few lines every night. What did you feel that day? What did you have that day? What surprised you? What did you learn? Who did you meet? Where did you go? You will appreciate yourself so much if you do that for yourself. Be in a photo, take a photo that you don't post online. Do something for you that you don't necessarily need to share with everybody else. Like, hold on to certain moments just for you. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Just remember that. So travel for you, have the experiences you want to have. Don't have them just to post it online, or at least just have at least one moment a day that you don't have to do that. Celebrate the little wins. As somebody with anxiety, I struggle with travel sometimes, which is why I make these lists for myself as well. Did you navigate the train without any problems? High five. Did you navigate the train and you did have problems and you still figured it out? High fives. I'm guilty of doing this too, but maybe instead of doing only the must-sees that everybody tells you that you have to do, let go of that for a little while, for a day, for the whole trip even, and figure out what is best for you, and not what everybody else says. Because if one thing is the one thing you have to do in that city, but you're like, I don't like museums, I don't want to do that, find something else to do, because that is where your memories are going to be. That's where you're going to be happiest. Try to enjoy something without filming it or taking photos, and just try to have the moment in your memory. some time for reflection, sit by the canal, watch the sunset, watch the sunrise if you can, take a run, take a walk, go into a park, pet a dog, ask first, but just enjoy something that's just for you and cherish those moments and then journal about them later. Briefly mentioned this before, but talk to strangers. You can learn so much about a place and also just learn about a place from a stranger. Those are the people that you're gonna have these spontaneous yes answers to. So it's just important to open yourself up to meeting people. One thing that I really love to do is plan like one, we'll call it like one anchor activity per day so that you're not overdoing it on yourself, because traveling is exhausting and you know what I mean. Not just the walking, but the planning, the being in a new place. Your brain is just constantly doing new things and taking in new information that it doesn't usually do. So plan one thing that you absolutely need to do that day. Whether that's a museum, whether that's one of your must-dos, whether it's a tour, and plan around that and maybe keep those a little flexible, a little bit more fluid. And it's also really nice because if the weather is good or if the weather is bad, then you can plan accordingly. Be prepared and research the local holidays, because if you go and there's something big going on, then it might kind of ruin your plans a little bit, and then you might want to shift your plans. So definitely look that stuff up ahead of time so that you kind of know what you're getting into. Book one splurge if you can. This might be a fine dining meal, an extra special tour, going to a spa. Do something that's really memorable just for you that might be a little bit of a splurge if you can. Now, this one is very important because you're here on YouTube, and I think I just need to remind you that you can use YouTube, you can use TikTok and Instagram as inspiration, but do not let it dictate everything that you do. We are all different. I might travel differently than you do, than some of my other YouTuber friends or my Instagram friends. I love them to death and I love looking at their suggestions, but the reality is it might not be for me. So definitely take the inspiration and then do your research. If you use Pinterest, you can absolutely create a board and create your vibe, your trip vibe from that board, because it can be very overwhelming to have all this information. So by putting it in one place, it doesn't have to be Pinterest. It can be a notebook. It can be a Canva document, just something to put all your ideas in so you can come back and start to filter through them and figure out what you really want to do. And then you can start to decide what you need to make reservations for, what you want to put on your standby list, things like that. Schedule in some rest time. And I mean this in a couple of different ways. When you're traveling over a certain amount of time, on a plane, on a train, on a boat, whatever, you might be really exhausted when you get there. So maybe don't plan some super important things as soon as you land or arrive in that place. But also each day, know when you should rest. So if you're gonna have a late night, don't have an early morning. Same thing with people with kids that they take to Disney World and Disneyland. They have started planning in afternoon nap time for kids and parents because it's just not fun. It's not pleasurable if you're just super exhausted. So keep in mind some rest time, because I know you want to fill your time and get the most out of it, but the reality is you'll enjoy it more if you give yourself a little bit of time. Don't be afraid to be a slow traveler. Really dive into a place. Don't feel like you have to hit all of the spots to get a feel of the place. You could just really enjoy one certain area. You could spend, a week in a city and not even scratch the surface, but you could also spend a week in a city and really get to know the neighborhood that you're in, and that's okay too. So really try to take these tips and figure out what makes sense for you. And let's talk about being mindful. Maybe at the end of the day, when you're journaling, really sit back and think, what made today special? Really give feedback to yourself and your own travel style. Do this at the end of each day, but also do it at the end of a trip and decide what you really enjoyed. And then you'll start to kind of realize what kind of traveler you are, because the reality is if you don't travel very often, you probably don't fully understand what kind of traveler you are. We travel so much, but it took us a long time to really understand what our own limits were when we get tired. And now we have our own set boundaries for ourselves that we do just to make sure that we are now fully enjoying travel as much as possible. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about any of it, let me know down in the comments. And if you would, tell me a place that you would absolutely love to travel to. And I can't wait to see you again in the next video. Bye.